Welcome back to Film Time. These are the 8 super cool items that were sold on Pawn Stars. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel and stay posted, as you wouldn't want to miss any of our Film Time videos in the future. But without further ado, let's dive straight into number 8.
It's a limited edition of Albert Einstein by the artist Halsman.
Albert Einstein is basically the rock star.
Coming up at number 8, we have the original The Godfather Script with autograph, which cost around $12,000. John Resnikoff was brought into the shop for an episode of Pawn Stars to authenticate an autographed copy of the original The Godfather Script. He was considered to be an expert authenticator of autographs and certainly looked like someone you would assume was an expert in something that does not require you to be seen in public. Coming up at number 7, we have the Dutch East Indian Company 1602 antique ship bell, coming up around $15,000. When the owner of an antique ship bell came into the store, she claimed it was from a ship owned by the Dutch East India Company back in 1602. Anytime someone makes a claim that their item is something that could be worth a pretty good chunk of change, they quickly begin to doubt its validity. Coming up at number 6, we have the 1715 Spanish Empire Peru gold coin, coming up around $18,000. Most people inherit land, businesses or family heirlooms, that old paintings or a collection of baseball cards, but rarely do people inherit a rare, unique Spanish Empire gold peso, which was actually minted in Peru. This rare find was brought into the shop by Jody, its owner, and she knew she had something that was worth a lot of money. She just wasn't sure how much. From what she discovered, doing her own research, she valued the coin herself at $18,000. Its value came from the story behind it. In 1715, it was part of a giant treasure of a loot worthy nearly $14 million that was being brought to Spain on a fleet of ships leaving Havana. It did not take long for the guys to strike a deal, and they made the purchase for $11,000. Coming up at number 5, we have the Isaac Newton's personal copy of De Natura Fossilium, coming up around $20,000. Just because we see something on Pawn Stars does not mean it's true. In other words, we only get to see some of the thousands of items that come through the shop monthly, and some are real while some are fake. Coming up at number 4, the Edward Curtis photographers with around $20,000. Long before the History Channel turned this simple little Las Vegas pawn shop into a multi-million-dollar corporation, Rick Harrison was working himself to the bone, doing everything he could to make every single profit. One of those deals remains the greatest of his life, and it all happened before anyone was actually filming it. Coming up at number 3, we have the Egyptian cartonnage mummy mask with around $30,000. Here's a picture of it. If we could only have the Pawn Stars bring in Dr. Phineas Castle once an episode and provide us with interesting information about ancient artifacts, that is, as long as he is not off somewhere on a safari. His over-the-top fashion sense and incredible awesome moustache makes us truly believe every single word he says. So when he asked to come to the shop and verify if a customer ancient Egyptian mummy mask was the real deal, it took him a few seconds before knowing that we were looking at the real thing. Coming up at number 2, we have Poland's Order of the White Eagle with around $30,000. To understand this item, you need to have a better understanding of world history, more specifically European history in 1795, when Poland was actually split into 3 parts, with Russia getting the largest part of the land. The emblem of Poland since the 1300s was their white eagle depicted on this item, but when Russia took over, they simply added it to their emblem, the 2-headed eagle, which is seen at the bottom of the piece. Now guys, finally at number 1, the 1842 5th edition Book of Mormon, coming up at around $40,000. Pawn Stars has a list of experts that specialize in various different things from autographs to antique jewelry, but there is only one that has grown into a celebrity on her own, and it is Rebecca Romney, the manager of Borman Rare Books in Las Vegas. Now guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you do smash the like button and subscribe to Film Time. But without further ado, stay safe and I'm out.